Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So this is going to be my Daredevil review for the rest of the season. I want to get onto season 2 videos, but there's like a whole bunch of stuff that I haven't talked about from season 1 yet. Just to start with the big news, you all probably heard Daredevil has been renewed for season 2. They didn't say exactly when that would premiere, but based on some of the changes they made behind the scenes in terms of personnel, I think they're going to try and drop it next year. Logistically, that creates some interesting issues because of all the other Netflix series that they're going to be premiering next year, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, like all those series are going to be going on at the same time. So I'll talk more about that after we get through Daredevil season 1 stuff. Because my last video ended, right around the beginning of episode 5, I'm just going to start there and work my way through the rest of the season. So here we go. So episode 5 is like the beginning of the big, Claire Temple, Matt Murdock romance, official romance. They'll probably be on again, off again through season 2. Foggy had this really awesome line where he was like, Matt doesn't have girlfriends for longer than a couple months at a time. Making it sound like, he's going to have a new girlfriend every new season, just because new seasons take place over the course of a couple months. I just think that's kind of funny. It's just like clearing a path for future romances with Lady Bullseye, Elektra, any other female character they might bring on the show. This is a good thing. I feel like as a character, Matt Murdock works better when he's not like fused at the hip with another female character, just because he has so much chemistry with Karen Page and, who knows what's going to happen in season 2. So it works better if he is not like in a committed monogamous relationship with Claire Temple. And I think she feels the same way too. She's like, I can't have a relationship with a superhero. That doesn't mean they're going to stop having sex or anything like that. Like they'll probably still hook up. But the same type of thing happens on Arrow with Oliver Queen's character. Like season 1, season 2, there were a number of women that he had temporary relationships with. So Daredevil tells Claire his plans to kill Wilson Fisk, to cut the head off the snake. Nice reference to Hydra. Obviously we know what happens when you cut the head off a snake. 2 more rise up in its place. There were really only loose connections to the rest of the Marvel Universe in Series 1. So Season 2, we might see some more of that. I think they're trying to keep this relatively self-contained. Usually when we see those references, it's with logos or company names. That's like the easiest way to do it. Episode 5 is also the episode where they kind of tee up the Karen Page Foggy relationship, which really wasn't a relationship, and not something I was a huge fan of. I like the actor playing Foggy, but I feel like the story, like season 1, just spent a little too much time with his character. Foggy and Karen were trying to solve a mystery that Matt essentially solved after the first couple of episodes, so it was almost like they spent half a season wasting time. There are always logistical problems with the first season of any show, just because you have to introduce characters, you have to develop them. So I think the reason that they spent so much time spinning their wheels with Foggy and Karen is just so that they could explore those characters, and you can learn a little bit more about their motivations. There's still a whole lot of Karen Page that we haven't gotten into, that I mentioned in my episode 3-4 video, just a whole lot of backstory that we might see in season 2. Speaking of character development too, we also get a deep dive into the Russians, moving into like episode 6-2, where Matt gets stuck in the warehouse with that one Russian. Even though it's very clear that they're terrible people, the episodes do a very good job of making them sympathetic. Take episode 6, for example. Like, you start with Matt trying to save the Russian and him trying to kill Matt. Cut to the end of the episode, they get to this place psychologically where the Russian sacrifices himself so that Matt can escape through the sewers. I would say, of all my favorite character-based episodes, that's my favorite. Just them inside that warehouse. Favorite line, hands down, was when Matt said, "Sorry, I don't speak asshole." That episode was also the first time that Kingpin and Daredevil spoke to each other. I'm just like you. We want the same thing. The only difference is I do what you do on a scale that matters. They did a really good job of addressing scale. It's like, how can a street-level hero hope to do as much good as, say, like a team of Avengers or someone with superpowers? This will continue to be a big theme that they'll develop throughout the rest of the Netflix series: Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Defenders. Some of those people do have special powers, and they do get into some mystical aspects, especially with the mortal Iron Fist. But it's one of the big questions that Daredevil answers. Regular people can make a difference. So moving into episode 7 territory with Stick, The Chase, The Hand, this is really, I think, like the biggest jumping off point for season 2 plot lines. So for those that haven't read the Daredevil comics, Stick is a member of an organization called The Chase. They're fighting a war with a rival organization called The Hand. Nobu, the character we see Matt fighting later in episode 9 in the red ninja outfit, he's a member of The Hand. They're different from Madame Gao's organization. The Hand are Japanese, Madame Gao is more Chinese. So The Chase gets into the more mystical aspects of the Daredevil universe. They're the same organization that trained people like Elektra, Lady Bullseye, even though Elektra later joined the Hand. So whenever Elektra shows up on Daredevil, she might be a member of the Hand, or she might be rogue. Don't you just feel like it'd be more fun for Elektra to enter the series fighting Matt Murdock rather than as his best friend? So the Chased in the Hand do have, a certain measure of mystical powers, and members of the organization do have special abilities. It's not really clear how much the show's going to get into this, because Defenders gets into Doctor Strange territory, so, I think there'll be like a certain level of mysticism, if not full-blown magic. They might hold that off till they get to Iron Fist, though. He's a much more, magically based character than Daredevil is. And everybody's asking, who is that weird tattoo person at the end of the episode that Stick's talking to? That's probably Stone. He's just another member of the Chased organization. The other big question is Black Sky. Like, who is the Black Sky child that they keep referring to? There's a couple options. One, he's just a regular Inhuman, and they'll explain it that way, the same way they explain other people with special powers. Two, he's the vessel for the reincarnated soul of a really powerful Hand member like Gorgon. Or three, he's the vessel for a full-blown demon that they're going to raise. It's just that in the comics, there was a brief period where an offshoot of the Hand worshipped a primordial demon called Beast and raised him. So they could be going to like full-blown demon territory. Hand talked about, bringing shadows to this world, the kind that you don't want to see. So I do think they're getting into mystical territory. So Stick making all those vague comments about war and Matt being ready to step through a door when it opens for him, I think that's exactly where they're going in season 2. They do have different showrunners, so the new showrunners could choose to take it any direction they want, but I think eventually they're going to try and have all these series loop back on each other. So the Hand and Chase characters just make it a little easier to loop it back in on Immortal Iron Fist, which is going to be the last series before Defenders. We also have to address the developing relationship between Vanessa and Wilson Fisk. Vanessa, without a doubt, the most interesting, complex female character on this show. I really want to find out what's going on inside her head in season 2. She's not an evil character, but she sees Wilson Fisk, all these things that he's doing, and she totally drinks the Kool-Aid. Or at least it seems like she does. Like their relationship seems very genuine. I like the way they start things off too. She's very eyes open. She knows exactly what she's getting into. She brings a gun to their private dinner date. That scene where they're watching is like all the Russians get blown up over town and she just says, "Good, getting rid of the scum in the city." You get the sense that she's a little bit vicious, which is just fun. She's not crazy, but she doesn't shy away from the idea of killing people. She's kind of like an older, darker, twisted version of Karen Page. Karen Page, despite her implied, mysterious past, feels like a very innocent character. So as we move through the rest of the episodes, we see the slow decline of Wilson Fisk. I know a lot of people were upset that it seemed like he went down very easy, but you have to remember that this is also like this season 1 is the rise of Wilson Fisk. It's not like him starting out as Kingpin. Usually when you see Wilson Fisk in the cartoons or in the comics, he is full-blown Kingpin, mastermind. What they wanted to do with Vincent D'Onofrio's version of the character is give you a much more psychological picture at where he's coming from. Just as like a contrast to that, I think a good example of just like a straight up, tried and true black hat wearing villain is Baron von Strucker from Age of Ultron. So even though Strucker and Kingpin, both very big villains in the Marvel universe, you spend so much more time in Kingpin's head that I think he becomes a much more compelling villain. It becomes much easier to sympathize with him, which makes it so much more interesting. It's so much better when there's a villain that you don't think of as a true villain. I mean, at a certain point, you have to root for someone. Someone has to be the biggest protagonist. So obviously, the series is called Daredevil. It's going to be about him. But that doesn't mean that you have to provide an overly simplistic version of Kingpin so that it's easier to identify with the hero. And that final scene of him staring at the wall, that was so much fun. You get the idea that when he comes back, it's going to be as a much more fully realized villain. Look at this wall and think about the man that you want to be. Truth be told, it would have been nice if they had spent a little less time with Foggy and a little more time developing this Hand storyline and spent more time with Stick, but I think that's all stuff that they can deal with in season 2. If you guys didn't notice, the same stunt person that did Chris Evans' stunts for Captain America Winter Soldier also did Daredevil stunts. So that's why the fighting style in Winter Soldier and Daredevil looks very similar. It's literally the same dude jumping around kicking people. My favorite fight scene is the one at the end of episode 2, where he goes into the Russians' base and gets the little girl out. That was all done in a single take. Favorite improvised weapon was the microwave, throwing the microwave through the door to take the guy down. When you don't have your Eskrima sticks yet, you have to make do with what you can find. My favorite editing in an episode, though, was episode 9, where he was fighting Nobu and it jumped backwards and forwards in time and then back to the fight. They kind of did a version of that during the Arrow mid-season finale, where Oliver Queen is climbing the mountain and then ends up fighting Ra's al Ghul, but it keeps jumping backwards and forwards in time. As awesome as this is, it can be a little disjointing if you don't pay attention really closely, so that's why you don't see them editing episodes like this all the time. What about the red costume though? I know a lot of people are saying they hate it, a lot of people say they love it. I think it's a work in progress. I think it's really interesting. I like the material, I like it way better than the Ben Affleck costume. When Melvin Potter said that he's still working on it, he's like, this part might stop a blade, this part might stop a bullet. I think that just means that they're going to tweak it over time. So if you hate the way it looks now, don't worry, they'll modify it as the seasons go on. We're entering season 4 of House of Cards, so I think there's no doubt that Netflix will continue to greenlight seasons of Daredevil. Hopefully we'll get like 5 seasons. That'd be amazing. I try not to compare Daredevil too much to like a lot of the other crime drama action series, just because, the way they shot it for Netflix is so different than the way they shoot traditional TV series. Think about it this way, like when you're shooting a regular TV show, you have to build in act breaks for commercials. They didn't have to do that with Daredevil. So like the way they paced the episode was way different than say like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which airs on ABC. What I'm hoping is that the success of Daredevil will embolden Marvel and Netflix to do way more stuff like this. Dark, gritty drama in the tradition of HBO, but done, on a streaming platform. I will say it's a bit of a nightmare to try and do videos for 13 episodes all at once, but it'd be a really entertaining nightmare. I know a lot of people are asking about the other Netflix series. Now that I'm kind of working through Daredevil stuff, I'm going to start doing season 2 videos, and I'll start doing some Jessica Jones eventually too. There's still a lot we don't know about that series yet. What I'm hoping is that, by Comic-Con, they'll announce Jessica Jones is being released sometime at the end of this year. There's no confirmation on that. They could hold it till like spring of next year. Charlie Cox did say that he wants a cameo in Captain America, and that's going to be a spring movie next year, so it's possible that they could try and have like some loose referential crossover between those series. Just to address some of the Daredevil Season 2 news already. So what's going to happen is Stephen DeKnight, the showrunner from Season 1, is departing. He can't do Season 2. That's only because he has a scheduling commitment with a film that he's making. The minute they announced that there were going to be new showrunners for Season 2, everybody freaked out. It's not because he's leaving Marvel or anything like that. It's just because he signed on to do another movie, and the dates for that overlap with the dates where they'd be shooting Daredevil Season 2, so he doesn't have the time to do both. And he already signed a contract to do this other movie, so he can't get out of it. Once they actually start working on the story and start shooting episodes, they'll probably release some news about, characters, castings, new people to bring on. Like I said, hoping for Bullseye, Elektra, a lot more characters tied to the Hand and the Chase, really. Don't be surprised though if Wilson Fisk spends the entire season inside the prison. Like he's still a big villain, but he does everything from inside the prison. That just feels like a really fun way to do it. So even though we have him already, I'm expecting them to bring in some other big antagonistic character to be like the big bad of the season, even though Wilson Fisk will always be Daredevil's ultimate villain. So while you guys wait for more Daredevil videos, if you haven't already, be sure to go out and see Age of Ultron. I did a non-spoiler review. You can click here to watch that, and you can click here for all my other Daredevil videos. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.